Hello, 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 and I want to welcome you to a very special session. And we decided to do this session for you for today because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was dealing with a challenge that she had never dealt with before. And in life, we end up ultimately coming up with challenges, and we're looking for solutions. And so this friend of mine was telling me that she was having this challenge and really didn't know where to go for answers. And it was an experience unlike anything she had ever experienced before. And it had to do with parenting. And I know there are a number of people out there in the world that are truly parenting experts. There are people that have studied psychology for many years, who have learned skills that are extremely effective in raising happy, well adjusted children. And sometimes this understanding of how to be a wonderful parent isn't as obvious as we may want it to be or may desire it to be. And therefore, what happened it was that she was looking for some answers, and she was looking for some answers online. Now, when you're looking for answers to whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life at the time that you're dealing with it, understand that the quality of your answers is going to be dependent upon the quality of your questions. Now, that may seem overly obvious, but it's true. And so I gave her some guidance on what to search for. But more importantly, here's what really prompted the idea for doing this particular event with you today is, how do you know if the answers that you are finding online are the answers that are going to lead you to the solutions that you're looking for? How do you know? And I know a lot of people rely on the internet. We've got over 4 billion users around the world that are using this wonderful tool called the internet. And a lot of people rely on the internet to get answers. So I don't know if you noticed this or not, but my voice is a little bit off. And the reason is because I've been testing positive for COVID. And so I feel fine, by the way. I wasn't feeling fine for a few days, but I feel really good today. My voice just sounds a little off. And my husband, who didn't get COVID from me, he's had it before, and I didn't get it from him at the time that he had it. He's been looking online as far as quarantine period, and is he putting people at risk if he goes out? He actually just left to go do some fishing, but he didn't go to hockey today because he felt that he could be containing the virus or carrying the virus, and therefore didn't want to spread it to other people. So what he did was he went online looking for answers. How long, are you contagious when you test positive for COVID, as an example? Another thing that he was looking is he potentially contagious because he could be carrying the virus even though he doesn't have any symptoms, right? And so I noticed on his computer, which is one of the computers that I'm using today for our event, that he was doing some searching online. And I remember one time a medical professional saying to me, do not trust what you're reading online as it relates to the medical profession. And I thought that was kind of a fascinating statement to make, because where do people go when they have some kind of a symptom, right? If they're not feeling well or something's bothering them or they have an ailment, typically hands go on the keyboard, they're going onto a search engine and they're looking for answers. And I remember this medical professional saying, do not trust the internet to give you the answers that you're looking for. And I thought that was rather bizarre because there are credible sites out there. And so, hence the challenge with really finding the right answers online. And the reason why we decided to do this particular event today was to give you some guidance as far as how to find the right answers, how to find potential solutions online, and how do you know if these experts are credible, number one, and how do you know if the advice that you are getting is actually viable? that it actually works and that it may potentially work for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then, of course, I'm going to open up for any questions you may have. We're on here for about 30 minutes. And I'm here with the wonderful Roddy, who's from my team, and he's joined us today. So he's going to be watching for any questions that you may have. And if you have a question relevant to what we're talking about today, please post your question. If you have a good morning to you, if you have a question that's relevant to something else, manifestation as an example, then pose your question. We are here to serve you. That's what we do at Dynamic Destinies. Also, I want to just inject an announcement as well. We're doing an event here in Ottawa in 2 weeks, the 27th and 28th of October, if you're watching this live. And it is an event called Masters Manifesting. It is my event that I'm co-delivering with a good friend of mine who is an absolute master manifester. His name is Phil Goldfine. He's an Academy Award-winning producer, and he's also he's won a Tony, and he's won gold medals, and he absolutely knows how to manifest. So the two of us are putting together this event to help people become masters at manifesting. And if that's something that you desire, then definitely be sure to check it out at mastersmanifesting.com and join us. All right. Now, if you're interested in something a little sooner, we're doing an event next week called Your Destiny Maker, yourdestinymaker.com. And this particular event is going to be delivered over a 3-day period, but only an hour each day. And the idea behind it is to help you understand what is destiny. How do you live your destiny? How do you live a fulfilled destiny? How do you get out of your own way to experience that destiny as well? So you can check that out at yourdestinymaker.com. Okay, so when you're looking for solutions, you're looking for answers, and you make a decision to go online and do a little searching. So you first of all have to get really good at asking the right questions. Now, this may seem overly obvious and perhaps even overly simplistic, but what I've noticed from some people is they don't ask great questions. And my husband's actually very much like that. Now, interestingly enough, Denny, my husband, my wonderful husband, who I'm very blessed to be married with, he is a very left brain, analytical thinking kind of person. And whenever he's looking for information online, he'll type in, bizarre things in the search engine. And I'll suggest to him, I say, here's a suggestion for you, honey. Why don't you just type in the question exactly as you just asked me? So if you're trying to determine, how many feet are in 18 meters, this isn't, one of his questions, but let's say it's as simple as that. How many feet are in 18 meters? You type out your question exactly as you would ask it. And this is the same thing that you do in a search engine. Whenever you're looking for, how to overcome adversity, or how do you change your feeling of sadness to happiness, or how do I really set a goal so specific that it's written properly? Like you can type your question in as long as you want. The search engines are designed in a way that they're looking for particular keywords and will give you answers accordingly. And as you know, it'll give you many, many answers accordingly. So my suggestion is type in questions exactly as you would ask them. If somebody was standing in front of you and they were going to give you the answers, just ask the question that way, in whatever way you would be asking another to get the answers that you're seeking. So that's one way, very simple. And you may find that when you're doing searching online that you type in your question one way and you get some answers, and then you get better at asking the question, or you may end up drilling down more specifically into certain types of answers that cause you or invite you to have additional questions. And then you ask more and more questions to finally get the answers that you're looking for. But, as we were preparing for today, I remembered an example which really speaks to what we're talking about here, and knowing if you found the right credible person to give you the answers. I think about coaching as an example. A lot of people need help. They recognize that they need extra guidance. They're looking for answers. They're looking for solutions. They'd like to get results in a faster way. And so they made a decision that they want to have a coach or a mentor. And so this is another reason why people would go online and do a search, is they're looking for, I'm looking for a coach who can show me how to get out of lack thinking into prosperity consciousness. Or I'm looking for a coach that can show me how to get rich quick, which there's no such thing, by the way. Or I'm looking for someone who can give me the guidance on how to set up a business online that's going to be producing revenue in a relatively short period of time. Whatever the question is, you can go online and search for those answers. But here's what came to my mind as I was preparing for today. A number of years ago, I was teaching one of my author programs, and I've been teaching authors for many, many years how to create success as an author, because I am one. I've written 20 books and created multiple millions of dollars in my business. And I love helping other authors or entrepreneurs do the same. And so there was this one individual, and we're going back a number of years now. This woman who had taken my course, and she was writing a book on how to become prosperous. And it's a very hot topic. It's a topic that a lot of people really want to get the answer to. And there are a number of topics as it relates to online and generating revenue online that are more popular than others. And earning money is one of them. Great health is another one. Better relationships is one, or attracting a soulmate, or fixing a bad marriage, or things like that. They're all hot subjects, very popular subjects. And so this lady had decided that because, she had learned, through me, that this is a very popular subject, that she would write a book on it. And now you would assume, right? You would assume that if somebody's going to write a book on anything, that they have experience with that topic. Or I would assume that if someone's going to write a book on a particular topic, that they would have results that are reflective, which are kind of like proof that they know what they're writing about, or they know what they're talking about, correct? You would assume that, right? Of course. So I don't know, everything about this particular woman, and I didn't know everything about this particular woman. I was assuming that if she's writing about how to become prosperous, that she was already prosperous. But what happened was she joined my program and went on a payment plan. And she went on this payment plan, and the payment plan was designed that you make one payment, you get into the program, and then there's going to be additional payments made within 30 days of each other. And so her first payment was made, and there were going to be a few others, and her second payment was declined. So her credit card didn't go through. And then, of course, someone from my team was, after her, pursuing her to get her to take care of her payment, because the deal is that if you sign up for a program and you go on a payment plan, you're going to follow through with the payments. And of course, we're going to follow through with giving you the program. But the challenge was that we gave the program and all of the content without being fully paid. And it is what it is. I definitely trust people. If someone is making a commitment to me, I'm going to make a commitment to them. So I'm going to follow through on my end of the bargain, kind of thing. So she couldn't make her payment. And one of the team that I work with was pursuing her. And she basically said she didn't have the money and that she was in a very challenging financial situation. And for me, that was puzzling, because why would you write a book about being prosperous when you're not prosperous already, or when you're struggling and when you can't, meet your own, demands or the commitments that you've made? And so what I felt is that this particular author was out of integrity with her message. And so she had reached out to me and said, well, if you would just promote my book, and she was kind of aggressive, which was completely inappropriate. But she said to me, if you would just promote my book, then I'll have the money to pay for your course. Well, that's not the deal. And that was certainly not the deal when she signed up for the course. And I thought it was kind of interesting that she would think that, why in the world would I promote anyone who is not a living, breathing example of what they're speaking about or communicating. It's like earlier when I mentioned that I'm doing this event with Phil Goldfine called Masters Manifesting. And my team and I have put this event together. We booked the hotel room. We put a lot of energy, a lot of effort. We were a lot of money into doing this event. And Phil Goldfine is doing the event with me because by his fruits, we know him, meaning that by the results that he's produced and that I've produced, we have manifested many goals. And what some people might believe seemingly impossible, but weren't, we did it. And so the point is that when you're looking to find someone that's going to be, guiding you, offering you ideas or strategies, you want to, number one, look at their results if you can see their results. Now, you can determine whether somebody's actually effective or not by testimonials or by what other people have said. And if other people have worked with them, then if other people have worked with them, then they would likely have something to say about it. Now, on the internet, we're so exposed nowadays, right? Like you can be out there online and claiming to be an expert, and you could be doing something completely, behind the curtain that's inappropriate. But quite often people find out about it because, there's so much exposure to who we are and how we're living our life with social media, etc. And so what I would suggest is before you make a decision to either follow someone, work with someone, sign up for their program, have them be your mentor, have them be your guide, is just invest a little bit of time looking around. You can even do a search for their name, like just type in the person's name and see what comes up, because there'll be, comments that'll come up. Now, I'm not saying it's all going to be true because it isn't always. Sometimes there are just some nasty comments out there which aren't warranted and they're just there. But if you invest a little bit of time doing some research to determine whether this person that you're considering or company that you're considering following or learning from, and by looking at their website and doing some digging around and some research, you'll find out whether they're credible or not. So that's by doing a little research and just snooping around, and not snooping. It really is not snooping, but just reading and looking for testimonials and confirmation of who they are and what other people have accomplished by, studying with them, reading their books, taking their courses or whatever. The other way, and this is a very effective way, and it's using a technique that you all have. And it's called using your intuition, trusting in your intuition. You see, your intuition is going to be your guide. This morning we were doing our Club Achieve class, and we're studying a phenomenal book. And it's actually one of my favorite books to study. It's a book by Robert A. Russell. It's called You Too Can Be Prosperous. And in this particular section that we're studying today, there was some really phenomenal understandings, like the depths of understanding that you may or may not find in other books, but it really gives you this great understanding of the power that you have within you, this incredible, extraordinary power that you all have, which is a divine power. It's an extraordinary power, and everybody has it. You see, intuition is a faculty that we all have. It's an ability that we all have to use our intuition, to tap into our intuition, to get answers to burning questions or to get direction, etc. And so when you're looking online for solutions, or you're looking online for particular answers, allow your intuition to also be your guide, right? Like if I'm watching a video on YouTube as an example, and I'm looking to learn a particular skill set or to deepen an understanding of something, and I'm watching a speaker or presenter, And if my intuition is saying they're full of poop, like they don't know what they're talking about, then I would likely, pay attention to that. And I would likely go away from that and not continue to study or continue to watch the video. Like within the last year, I've studied a lot about the mechanism of our brain, like how our brain really works and how our mind works as well. And more, my excuse me, I was going to say more importantly, part of the reason here, let me just take some water. Part of the reason why I made a decision to dive into a deeper understanding of our brain was for personal reasons, right? I wanted to understand a little bit more about how we heal ourselves and also, excuse me, how we, how we can use this power, this healing power that we have within us to not only, create healing within our physical body, but to stay healthy and to increase our energy as well. Because we release energy. We all have energy. Like some people sometimes will say, my goodness, you have a lot of energy. I do. I'm a high energetic person. And they'd say something like, well, how do I get that kind of energy? I said, you already have it. You just have to tap into it. It's already within you. And that's what intuition is. You already have it. It's within you. That ability to use your intuition is already within you. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do I know if it's my intuition, or how do I know if it's maybe just an old belief system that's attempting to hold me back? And I would say that how you know it's your intuition is based on how you feel. Like intuition, I believe, comes with a sense of certainty. Like there's almost like this knowing that comes upon you or across you that just feels like, yeah, this is it. Like this is right. It's a sense. It's something you feel. And you'll know when you know, right? And I know you've experienced this before. Everyone has experienced this before. You simply know when you know. So you've got to trust that, like really genuinely trust that. The other thing is that, there are a lot of people out there in the world now who have, put their flag in the ground, if you will, created a presence online and without any, real pre-qualification have shown up in the world and declared that they are an expert in a particular field. And can anyone become an expert in a particular field? Actually, yeah, they can. And can anyone write a book on a subject and that can actually have them being perceived as a credible expert in a certain area? Yes, absolutely. And that's created a wonderful opportunity for people that want to follow their passion and who realize that there's no limit to what you can earn online, which is true. But it's also created a number of challenges. And the challenge that it's created is the charlatans that are out there, the people that are out, online. They've discovered a way of earning money or generating revenue or whatever. And they're all about themselves, right? They're all about greed. What's in it for me? And I believe your intuition is going to give you a really good understanding of whether somebody is sincere or not, whether someone really wants to help you or they don't. You will feel it. You'll feel it genuinely and you will know. And this is just such a simple understanding and such a simple idea. But when you really grasp it and you begin to trust your intuition, you're going to get the answers that you need for the most pressing questions or the burning questions that you have. Now, we've got a few minutes remaining here today. We've got a couple questions that have come in already. So I want to thank you, Roddy, for grabbing those questions for me. The first one is from Brid Brady. When we are focused on our goal and visualizing it achieved, is that to show the subconscious mind that it's possible? No, the subconscious mind knows it's possible. Like the subconscious mind doesn't have a reasoning factor. Your conscious mind has a reasoning factor, but your subconscious mind simply accepts anything and everything that you put into the subconscious mind. So you must first believe it's possible. And when you believe it's possible, now in the beginning, if you don't believe it's possible, then you must affirm it. And how you affirm it is by practicing that it's done, practicing the feeling that it is already done, that the goal is already done. And not just once, but over and over and over again. This must become this new way of being. You having accomplished your goal must become your new way of thinking, right? It's a new way of consciousness. And it takes time because when you first set a goal, especially a goal that you've never accomplished before, everything within you will try and hold you back or try and pull you back. You've got to override that previous way of being. That's the old conditioning. That's what's already in your subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind is saying, whatever you're going to impress within me, I'm going to accept as true, even if it's not. Right? So how do you impress it into your subconscious mind? Through repetition. Repetition of what? Repetition of the feeling that your goal has already been accomplished. And when you do that, and when you are that, the person that has already accomplished it, and you feel it wholeheartedly in your heart, you're attracting it into your life and it will show up in your life. It'll absolutely show up. But you've got to convince. This is what Dr. Joseph Murphy says. You must convince your deeper mind. What's your deeper mind? Your deeper mind is your subconscious mind, right? You have to do the work. Now, you can do it by listening to a Power Life script, which is, to me, the most effective technique ever created. It's my technique. Go to powerlifescript.com. And that's why Power Life Script works, is because you decide what it is that you would love to have in your life, assuming you've never accomplished it before. Then you have to determine what do you need to believe in order to have that. Then you've got to create the vision in your mind that it's already accomplished. And then you got to feel it every single day. So when you script it out in the present tense, as if you've already accomplished that, and you record that and you listen to it over and over again, you have firmly planted that into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will believe it to be true. And then once your subconscious mind believes that that outcome, that goal that you've set for yourself is already in your life, it's going to show up. When? Don't know. It's going to take some time. It's going to work with the law of gestation. But most people give up long before the goal is ever accomplished. And most people just get frustrated because they don't see the results. You got to trust in the process. You got to believe in the invisible, and you can never, ever, 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 ever give up. All right. That was a great question. Thank you for asking. The next question that we have is a question by Claudia. She says, how are you feeling today? I feel fantastic today, by the way. I did mention at the beginning of this call that I have COVID right now. I did another test this morning, and it is showing positive. And these are my tests from yesterday and the day before. I thought I had a cold, and then a friend of mine said, I think you have COVID. So, okay, I'll do a test. And I did a test, and sure enough, it's COVID. And it's my first time. I thought I was immune. I really did. I didn't think that it was possible for me to get COVID because my husband had it and he was in our house. He caught it right after my mother-in-law's funeral. And my grandson, who was here for a weekend, this is about a year or so ago now, maybe not quite a year, but anyways, my grandson was here one weekend with a friend of his. And then my son and daughter-in-law and the baby came over, and my friend was here. Every one of them got COVID that day, the day they left my home. Every single one of them caught COVID, but I didn't. And then my husband caught COVID at my mother-in-law's funeral. I was there. I was at the funeral. I was in the car with him. And yeah, sorry, inappropriate language on Instagram there. Anyways, I just assumed that, perhaps I was immune to it because I've heard that some people are. And to me, it's no biggie. At least that was my experience. Now, I know that's not everyone else's experience, and I'm, compassionate about what other people go through. But I woke up today and I feel great. I feel absolutely phenomenal. I sound a little deeper, like my voice might be a little deeper, but I'm feeling really, really good. Okay, we are just about at the bottom of the hour, and we have one more question here. Selena Michelle says, I'm trying to decide which one to do first, Power Life Script or Club Achieve. Do them both. Why would you even have to choose? Sounds like you'd like to do both. So I would suggest do both. We have many people that are absolutely doing both. And you'll discover that when you get into Club Achieve. And so our Club Achieve program, to me, is one of the best, if not the best on the planet. And the Power Life Script process is the best process on the planet for manifestation. I believe that wholeheartedly. I honest to God believe that every single person should have a Power Life Script if they want to make some positive changes in their life, if they'd like to manifest their dreams. Everybody should have a Power Life Script for sure. So I would suggest join both. Absolutely join both. Okay, we're going to call that a wrap for today. I really appreciate you guys being here. Arati has grabbed all the questions that are there. We'll be back again, but check out the events that I was mentioning as well. Masters Manifesting. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more question here, and I'm going to address that one, and then we're going to call it a wrap. Excuse me. Okay. All right. So Kanik says, I'm listening to my Power Life Script, but sometimes when people are around me, I distracted, lose focus, but I try and come back, but it's difficult for me to get back on track instantly. Well, if you believe it's difficult for you to get back on track, you're going to experience it being difficult to get back on track. What if you believed it was easy for you to get back on track? What if you believed you could do it just like that? Because you can't. It's a choice. Now, you should get into the habit of doing that just by simply putting yourself back on track, putting yourself back on track. So just become really good at focusing. Do not allow any distractions. One of the ways that you can improve your focus ability is light a candle, and do this safely. Of course, you could light a candle, put on your headset if you're listening to your Power Life Script, and stare at the candle while you're doing it. Don't be in an environment where there are other people around you that can distract you. Put yourself into an environment. Like I'm in my office right now. Of course, we're doing this event with you right here, right now. And the door is closed. The dogs are on the other side of the door. My husband's gone out fishing. There's no distractions. So I'm here in a focused environment to serve you. So I'm in this focused environment to serve you while there are no other distractions. Now, just a moment ago, I don't know if you heard that, but my phone rang. Now that could be a distraction, but I just, gently, calmly just reached over, pushed the button to hit decline call, because I'm not going to take the call, obviously, right now while we're doing this, and stayed on track. You're the one that's in control of your mind, no one else. Do not give your power away. Understand that you're in control of what you're giving your attention to at all times. Do not allow something to distract you. Get really good at putting yourself back on track. And you can do that by lighting a candle and staring at the flame. All right, that's a great idea and a great technique for anyone to use if they want to improve their ability to focus. And it's a great skill set to improve upon, by the way. All right, thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Roddy. And we'll see you again very likely next week. Take care. Bye-bye.